welcome to Bizprac software and another round of tips and tricks of the trade. Today we're going to be looking at the BAS. We find the BAS under the General Ledger tab and our third button selection here. So we click on this and this lists any business activity statements that we have previously completed. Our list can be quite extensive if we've been using Bizprac for a long time. So as you can see, we have 4 listed here. They're all quarterly BASs as indicated by the Q, and they have all been locked. So these were locked as soon as the BAS was lodged under our OZ key. We locked that and were able to lock that period off, and we did so with our data entry period as was discussed in the last tutorial. So now we've entered a new BAS quarter, so we do need to look at setting up a new BAS. So we do have a couple of options available for us there. One is to click on the new button, and obviously we've got our settings. We can choose monthly or quarterly. Just simply a case of clicking into the start date, selecting, and it will automatically default to the end date for us. Vice versa, if we click on monthly, you'll notice the end date is adjusted. We're going to be doing our quarterly BAS at the moment. The PAYG and instalment income override settings do not need to be touched unless you pay your PAYG on a monthly basis or you are paying an instalment income as directed by the ATO. So it's not necessary to add anything in there. These will automatically be picked up in the calculation. The only time we want to add these in is if we want to narrow the dates down. Now we'll click cancel because we do have another option available here, which is simply our copy settings function. So again, we still select our dates, pop those in, but what this does is automatically copies the setting of the last BAS that we completed. We click on our BAS details, so you notice this is clicked onto the calculation sheet. So this is what has been copied across. The ledger accounts for our W1 and W2 areas there. If we were using the override option and also for instalment income, our settings automatically would have been calculated for this area here. So we're not going to do that instalment option today. We're just going to run our normal BAS. So all we need to do is click calculate and save. And as you can see, all of our fields have populated there with the information, and these actually transfer to the front page, which corresponds with the business activity form or the areas that we fill in when we enter into our OZ key. Now there are a couple of things we do need to look at. The BAS audit trail here, if we click on this print, this actually gives us a good indication of where everything is sitting within the business activity state and gives us an opportunity to make any adjustments that may be necessary. So just scrolling through, we can have a quick glance over. There are a couple of things that pop up straight away. One is the super here has got a GSF code on it and is listing in the BAS, so that shouldn't be the case. And the other is that our actual PAYG is in a credit, showing in a credit here because we've made a monthly payment. So we do need to rectify this for our PAYG to be reported correctly. So we're just going to make a note of these. So this one here is the 1st of the 11th and the 1st of the 11th on the super as well. So we're just going to click out of here. We'll click save. We'll just duck into our cash book menu and payments. So as you'll see, the first one there is the one for the ATO. So if we click modify, all we simply need to do is actually click this little box here, ignore when creating the BAS. So what this will do is actually will take that transaction out. It's not necessary for us to recalculate it. We've already done so and we've already made the payment. So we'll click save. The other is our super, and we'll click modify here. Quite often we have codes that have been placed in here, and this can incorrectly report things for you. Superannuation is GST, does not attract a GST, so we can quite rightly leave this transaction as blank, and we'll just click save. So we'll close this window and we'll come back to our BAS, click our BAS details, and we're going to calculate and save again. So as you can see, our PAYG now has all of a sudden gone from a negative to a positive. We click on our calculation sheet, we can see that's the case. And if we click on our BAS audit trail and quickly scroll down, we can see too that the superannuation has been taken out of that calculation, as rightly so, and our W2 is actually correctly reporting now our PAYG. So then we've got down in the listing here our entries with no tax code. They're not calculated in the BAS. These payrolls and also our ATO payment are correctly now sitting where they need to be and not taken into the BAS calculation. So it's as easy as that in terms of checking over where everything's sitting. So if we're happy with that, we're able to actually print a BAS form. We can print this out, and this will actually correspond to, as I said, all of these numbers within the AUSKey or with the PAYG form, so we can print that out. Click save here. So if we're happy with that and we come to the end of this quarter here and we've lodged everything, we can actually prepare our either payment or receipt from this screen as well. So if we click on the pay receipt GST, as you can see, it'll list all of our details here. It'll end the start and end date here, as well as our ledger accounts dates, our payment to, and then it will correctly allocate them to all the ledger accounts. So in this terms of this, all we then need to do is click create payment, and the payment will be created for us. I'm not going to do that yet because obviously we haven't hit our end date, so I'll just click cancel. But it's as easy as that in terms of the BAS. If we needed to modify and go back to the monthly, which we can do so here, so you can see October's then done. Click save, BAS details, calculate and save again. So we actually have a $1 on this one. Click save, pay. You can see what's being actually paid here, and we can create our payment. As easy as that. Once we have done that, we just simply duck back in and lock the BAS. This way there isn't any other information that can be added to it or changed. We know that this will then correspond with what we have lodged in our AUSKey. So as you can see, there's only a couple of tiny things to just keep an eye out there in terms of our GST codes, or in using that tick box to exclude from the BAS settings, but it's as easy as that. Thank you for joining us at Bizprac Software.